Welcome. My name is Jules van Binsbergen and I'm a professor of finance at the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. And there's a new executive education program that I want to tell you about in this video. The name of this new program is Investment Strategies and Portfolio Management, and it's offered by the Aresti Institute of Executive Education. The investment management industry is a fast-changing industry in a fast-changing world. Simply look at the large expansion in available investment options. So in addition to the usual stocks, bonds, commodities, and mutual funds, we will also talk about investment options like hedge funds, exchange-traded funds or ETFs, real estate and investment trusts or REITs, private equity, and of course the latest addition, cryptocurrency. The investment management industry is also subject to increased levels of competition, particularly from fintech. And so a discussion about the long-term outlook of this industry and the expected changes that will occur due to this increased competition is warranted. A third important challenge is the low rate of return environment on most investments. Nominal and real interest rates have reached all-time low levels around the world. Even the expected returns on risky assets seem particularly low these days. And so therefore there's a search for asset classes and investments that can deliver some return. So we'll talk about this increased interest in alternative investments such as private equity also in this context. This newly developed program will therefore include the latest trends and developments in the investment management industry, the most recent economic trends, both domestically and abroad, including of course the recent COVID-19 pandemic, cutting-edge academic research on performance evaluation, portfolio formation, and machine learning, or AI, and finally, risk management strategies for rare event environments like the pandemic. So here are some of the questions that will come up in the program. How should you choose between the many different available investment options? What returns should you expect on these different asset classes? Should international investments be a part of your portfolio? Why or why not? Will the COVID-19 pandemic only have short-term effects, or will there also be long-term structural changes to the economy? How is that going to affect the investment management industry? We will also spend some time on behavioral biases and behavioral finance. How can you as an investor avoid the classic mistakes? Can you trade against the biases of other investors? We will also look at tough questions, things like when does ESG investing make sense and when does it not? And then of course we'll spend a substantial amount of time talking about machine learning. How can machine learning help portfolio formation? And can you use machine learning to get better risk return trade-offs in your portfolios? One key challenge that investors face is how to tell apart skilled investment managers from charlatans. So we'll spend time on the latest academic research that measures investment management skill. One thing that research has highlighted is that there's an important difference between the skill level of the manager and the extent to which investors can benefit from that skill. If the manager adds value, how is this value distributed between the managers themselves and the investors that invest in the funds of those managers? So this also relates to the question of how do I set a reasonable fee or compensation level for the managers that I'm hiring? So who is this program for? Who should attend? The program is particularly designed for chief investment officers, portfolio managers for institutional investors, pension funds, insurance companies, and sovereign wealth funds, family office representatives or private wealth advisors to ultra-high net worth individuals or families, commercial bank executives with portfolio management responsibilities, and finally, financial advisors. I hope to welcome you in this exciting new program.